What's going on, everybody? We are back. Took a big week off, and then we are running late a little this week. But hey, I'll take blame. All right, I gotta give Jake credit. He was on top of things, and I wasn't. But we're back now. Big Wednesday special episode. BoogiePod episode 60. Big 6-0.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a milestone, man. We're getting up there. Feels like you feel it, and it feels like 60 is like a lot. And it's in a weird way. Does it feel like 60 to you? That's a good question. Does it feel like 60 to you?
I don't know.
I think it does. I think it feels just like 60.
Kinda. Yeah, I guess. I guess it does.
I mean, you were talking before, there isn't much to talk about this episode, but considering this weekend's going to be like one of the bigger weeks we'll have for sports in a minute. We got Super Bowl this weekend, and we got one of the bigger pay-per-view cards of this year, and at least main event-wise. And besides that, it's going to be a while before we have something just besides UFC to look forward to on the weekends. So, March Madness will roll around March. Like you mentioned, college baseball starts up soon. MLB will start up soon. But besides that, man, it's going to be mainly it's going to be a little downtime, which is okay. We survive it. We all thrive in football season anyway. But let's start off talking about the big game this weekend. Big Super Bowl. Give me that prediction. Give me your thoughts. Go into detail, man. It's the big game. We got to go into detail. Chiefs, Eagles. Who you got and why? And how?
Okay, I've been thinking about it. I told you Eagles might win by 10 after the conference championship games, but I'm going to go Chiefs. Okay, I think I saw a Tik Tok today. You look who the Chiefs have played, and you look who the Eagles have played.
True.
Quite a bit different.
Yep.
Chiefs are much more battle tested, but I will say Eagles do have a better all-around roster. They are better. In almost every position, they're better, except the most important one. And there's a monstrous gap in skill level.
Yeah.
Mahomes is 10 times better than Jalen Hurts will ever think about being.
Yep.
But I do think Hurts is good enough with this team this year to win. Wouldn't shock me if they did win, but I'm going to go Chiefs by 3. I wanted to say 7, but I think you've always been saying if they had Tyreek Hill or they had better receiving group, it'd be a lot easier on them. I think if they had Tyreek Hill, I would confidently pick them to win this game.
Yeah.
The fact they don't worries me, but I think Mahomes will be healthy enough. I think this will be a good, valuable ring for him. Looking back, because this team's so loaded, he's playing against the Eagles are loaded.
Yeah.
And I think this will be a great ring to his collection. Multiple rings, I hope.
Yes.
In the long run.
Okay, I agree with you. I'm also going Chiefs. The reason I'm going Chiefs is because of the quarterback situation. We've seen teams get carried to the Super Bowl as of recently without no quarterback, such as the 49ers teams, and you could even argue some Brady teams and things like that, etc. And the Tom Brady ones would win it because he'd get that dog in them in the last drive or whatever, but the 49ers with Jimmy G and stuff wouldn't win them and things like that. And I think the Super Bowl is going to be very similar to when he played the Niners, but obviously the Eagles are better than the Niners. Ghost is making an appearance. But I think I think it's gonna be a close game. I'm not gonna take credit away from the Eagles, but I think it's gonna come down to each quarterback will have their chance in a last minute drive, and one's GOAT conversation, and the other one's Jalen Hurts. So it's just that simple, and that's the way I look at it. And Eagles have a great team, and just draft a quarterback next draft. You got a chance for the Super Bowl.
Oh, man.
No, I'm just kidding.
They are in Will Levis range. They're in Will Levis, Anthony Richardson range.
I don't know if Will Levis is the answer, but
no, I don't.
But yeah, that's true. Wouldn't that break? Eagles fans wouldn't know what to do if they drafted a quarterback.
That would be really hilarious if it did that.
Oh, that'd be so funny. All right, but yeah, I'm going Chiefs. I think it's gonna be because of quarterback. I'm gonna go Chiefs by. Said it was gonna be close. I'll go by 3. Harrison Bucker, field goal win it.
Okay.
So I'll go with that. I think it's gonna be super. I think it's gonna be a great game.
Do you see shootout or low scoring defensive battle?
It's gonna feel like I think the ball is gonna be moved, but I think goal line defense. There's gonna be a lot of field goals. I think in this game. So I wouldn't say necessarily. I think it's gonna be a balanced game. I think it'll be somewhere in the middle. I think it'll be 20. High 20s to low 20s type game, or maybe low 30s to mid 20s type game. Nothing wild, no shootout, but definitely not a defense. I think it's going to be a great Super Bowl. I'm excited.
Yeah, I I think it's gonna be a good one too. I hope it's like an all-time great one because
Mhm.
it's the Rams Bengals last year was fine, and then Bucks Chiefs was really bad because the Chiefs O line, and then they just weren't ready to play.
Yeah.
But I think this game has to be a shootout because I think the only way, like the Chiefs' path to victory, is getting ahead of the Eagles and making Hurts throw the ball, make him actually put his effort in and put his um, make him put his stamp on the game because you've not seen him do that yet in the playoffs this year.
True.
They've won easily. He's played his role, but he's not had to do anything to win. I mean, it's just if you're watching the game unbiased, because I was telling you a little bit for the Eagles Niners games, like I don't like the Eagles. So I'm not going to be like lying about it. I'm a Cowboys fan. They don't like each other, but like I like the NFL. You know, I like I don't really care. I do care who wins it, but it's like you know, ain't gonna hurt my feelings too bad if the Eagles win. And like Hurts as a person's a good guy. And I was like, dang, if he shows up in this game and beats the crap out of these Niners, he actually shows me something.
Whatever.
I won't say nothing. Man, he didn't have to do anything. It's not his fault.
No, it's not.
It's like he just
we're not hater. We're not Hurts haters.
We're not hating him.
We're
not hating on him.
I'm a hater of the people who are delusional and think he's a great quarterback.
He could be great, I think, but right now I think he's just pretty good. I think he's good. I think there's
I think he's at ceiling.
Maybe he's good at running the ball. He can throw it, around a little bit.
Occasionally,
Occasionally, he just don't have to. And
No.
I think if he shows up and like can outduel Mahomes throwing the ball, that's when you start. He's not going to be better than Mahomes, but it's like you can start talking about him.
You can start, you can start like giving Jalen Hurts the credit with the arm strength, I guess, or arm
talent or anything. I'm not. Every time I've watched him play this year, he makes some good throws, deep. It's mainly like deep shots, AJ Brown and stuff. You'll see vertical routes. I don't like against the Niners. I don't know how many times he threw the middle of the field. It wasn't that often.
No.
Like deep middle of the field. It's all, and he meant. I don't know. I didn't think he played great against the Niners personally. Even though he didn't have to do much, he missed a lot of throws that a quarterback of his caliber by the media standards would make. But I think he's good enough to.
I was going to say that you were talking about the strength of schedule and like who they played and stuff. Just look at the playoffs. Like it was. Patrick Mahomes had to play Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow, and Jalen Hurts had to play Daniel Jones and Brock Purdy and a fourth-string quarterback.
With no arm. I mean, the Niners didn't have a quarterback who could throw the ball for the second half.
And I can think of 32 quarterbacks I would rather have over Brock Purdy right now if I was starting a franchise. And
you're a big Brock Purdy hater. You'll hate Brock Purdy.
Because I know who he is. I know who he is. I don't want no one to tell me otherwise. He'll show it one day. He'll prove me right. I know he will. Yeah. He got to me. He trusts me. But both going Chiefs. What's your score prediction though? You don't have to give me like a number. How much do you think Chiefs will win by?
I said by 3, but I'll give you a score prediction. I think 30-27 sounds right to me.
So 30-27,
maybe even like 7-34 if it's really crazy. I just don't know if Hurts can throw the ball in a shootout and win. Mm-hmm. That's what I think. If the Chiefs can expose that defense, they're going to win because I don't think Hurts can keep up. Personally, if he can and proves me wrong, then dang, we have a whole new conversation.
Tip your cap. Yeah.
But tip my cap. But till then,
All right. So Rodgers, we're gonna move on. Aaron Rodgers is decided his future on a darkness retreat. And I'm pretty sure I didn't do research, so I don't know if you know what this is, but I'm pretty sure you go like in a room. Ain't this what Yuri Prohaska did? Too long ago, where he goes in like a room and he cuts himself off from the world for like a couple days. I don't think
he's like in total pitch black though. Yeah. I think he's just like isolated,
Well, I know the one Yuri did. I don't know if this was a darkness retreat, but I know the one Yuri did where he didn't eat or anything. He was in this room meditating for that long. Which Yuri's kind of a little different than Aaron Rodgers. So, but what do you think about this, and what do you think the future holds for Aaron Rodgers?
Well, first, I think I heard what the darkness retreat is. It's 4 days in a pitch black house, room, or something. They'll give him food, but I think he might. This is a me thing. I think I heard he might take like psychological. What is it called? Like not like mushrooms, but that kind of drug to make you hallucinate, and then sit in a pitch black room to really get to see it.
Oh yeah,
that's how I interpreted it. Yeah. Maybe there is no shrooms or something involved. He might just be sitting in a black room and just hallucinating for 4 days and eating some food or whatever he gets. But he's going to the Raiders. He knows it already. He wants to go to the Raiders. I think them or the Jets, because Titans is a possibility, but who are you throwing to? You already complained about the Packers receivers. You're getting nothing better there. I mean, debatably worse, actually. Probably or worse.
Yeah.
I'd go to the Raiders. I think he wins an MVP if he goes to the Raiders. He's like right. At least he's in the. I know you want to win a Super Bowl, but he would win an MVP.
Yeah.
That's what he does. Better win Super Bowls. So he'd win an MVP with the Raiders.
All right. I think I think it's interesting he's choosing this. So I decided, whatever floats your boat in that regard. But I like the Raiders idea, but I still think I think I'm gonna fall for it again this year. Last year I thought he'd go to the Broncos because that's where his past offense coordinator went. And I think I'm going to fall for it again this year, and I'm going to say he goes to the Jets with the offensive coordinator. The Raiders are more in a position to draft a quarterback than the Jets are, so that makes me believe that the Raiders might draft one, and Rodgers will go to the Jets. But let's say you're right, and he goes to the Raiders. That opens up a lot for the Raiders because then they can use their big draft pick on something they actually they need to again.
Well, they're losing that draft pick, I think, if they trade for him. Maybe depends how much salary they take on. Because I think Rodgers has to be traded, and I think Packers are going to want all they can get. Because I was doing a mock draft yesterday, and I had it in my scenario like him going to the Raiders, the Packers getting that pick. Mm-hmm. So they got 2 first-round picks. Maybe they could get away with not having to give a first-round pick because Rodgers is really old, and you can probably get 1 or 2 years max, and his cap hits like $40 million or something. That's a lot of it's a lot. Yeah. And
what's the chances he stays with the Packers?
I'd say odds are he does stay, actually.
Really?
Every year he does this. This is the most serious it's ever gotten to him actually leaving. But every year he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then he goes back to the Packers and then complains some more. I like Rodgers.
Yeah.
But, he does complain about the Packers a lot to stay with him.
Yeah.
He kind of wants some money. But
yeah, something different I noticed I feel like in this one than last year's one was this year. It's kind of like the fans are a little ready for it too. I feel like what I've seen on TikTok and Twitter, like they Jordan Love praise and all this other stuff about Jordan Love, and I'm like, okay, so you guys are content with it too. And I wonder if Aaron Rodgers takes note of any of that stuff. I wonder if he doesn't care.
Oh yeah.
But just something I thought was interesting because I feel like last year it was like, oh no, Daddy Rodgers, come back, but this year it's a little different, So, all right, well, we kind of mentioned the Raiders already. Let's go to Derek Carr. He has gotten approved to visit with the Saints, in a sense. Do you think that's where he ends up as Saint?
I think it's a good possibility, but I don't think it makes any sense for the Saints to do that because the only reason you get Derek Carr is if you're ready to win now. And if they're going to do that, I think the Saints are going to be the new Colts, where it's like we're going to try this new veteran quarterback, and our team we think is ready to win, and that veteran quarterback might not turn out, and the roster's not as good as we thought. But I think if they're checking on him this early, I think he might end up there. But I think he might end up getting cut first. I think they're just trying to do their research on him, see what because they get to meet with him, have an interview and stuff. It ain't like they can't talk to him or nothing. Yeah. And I think they'll wait for him to get cut. I think they'll pick him up.
The only reason I don't see that they wait for him to get cut is because if you go ahead and trade for him, you know that you get him, you secure it. But if he gets cut, you take a danger of another team getting him and all this other crap that comes involved. But I see what you're saying. The Saints. That's a good comparison. I never thought about it that way. It's like the Colts, very similar. I feel like the Saints have a great defense, or it's good at least. Yeah. But again, the wide receiver talent. I mean, what's the dude there that always gets hurt? He runs the slants. Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas is going to get cut. Okay. He has to be cut because he has a $50 million cap hit this year.
Well, he's gone.
Or next year or something. He's gone.
Alvin Kamara is in trade rumors. I know that much. Besides that, who you got? Am I missing anybody?
They have Chris Olave. He's going to be really good.
Chris Olave. Yeah.
He's there for a while.
Unless you think Chris Olave is that guy and you get Derek Carr and then you draft another wide receiver, maybe we're looking at something then. Especially if it's like, imagine Quentin Johnson, Chris Olave, and Derek Carr. Okay, now we got something with a great defense. On paper.
Keep Alvin Kamara around, too. Then you got something.
On paper, you got something there. You got to keep Alvin Kamara healthy, but you got something there, So, there's options there, but I agree with you. I like that comparison with the Colts. I like that. And then again, I'm also not a Derek Carr necessarily hater, but I have big concerns about Derek Carr. A little bit more than other people. I have concerns about Derek Carr. All right, let's move on. UFC 284. Are you hyped for this card? I'm hyped, personally.
I'm excited. It's a good fight. It's a big fight.
And Co-Main's good, too. That one's getting overlooked. But now, the only thing that sucks about this is, Co-Main's about as good as it gets for a Co-Main. Main event's about as good as it gets for a main event. But the rest of the main card and prelims are terrible. But
great, yeah.
But top heavy, I'm okay with that. Let's start off with the big old main event. Let's start with the co-main event, actually. Yair Rodriguez, Josh Emmett. Yair Rodriguez and Josh Emmett. Who you got in this fight and how?
I got Yair Rodriguez, maybe by a decision or late knockout. I could see the late knockout because I've not watched a lot of Josh Emmett's fights, to be honest with you. I watched his most recent where he debatably lost.
Yeah.
But he looked good. You know, he fought a good fight. It's just a close one. I think he's a solid fighter, but I think Yair's that dude. I think he's really good, and I think he's like the next guy that will challenge Volk and have like a legit shot of winning because his power and his style is so just out there. He just throws everything he can at you, and it works a lot of the times.
Yeah.
I like the way he looked against Holloway, even though he lost to Holloway.
Yeah, he did.
He looked pretty dang good against in his first fight back in years. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I like that. I thought that was good.
yeah, it was.
And I forgot who he fought last.
Brian Ortega. It was a freak.
He beat Ortega.
It was
injury.
the arm thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be fair, that's not like your normal injury. It was kind of like the Curtis Blades one, where it's kind of like they had something to do with the injury, but it was still like a freak thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think Yair was on his back and he grabbed hold of his arm, and then Ortega pulls away and his shoulder popped out or something.
Yeah, he went through, he went for the arm bar, and when he went for the arm bar, he pulled it out of socket. So like he caused it, but that wasn't the intention. You know, kind of like Tom Aspinall kicking Curtis. Curtis catches the leg kick. Like that's the idea, but it's still like a freak accident. You know, so it's like one of those things. So they're both coming off weird fights. And they're fighting for an interim belt, which is I feel like a lot of people forget too, the interim belt. And I'm also going Yair by knockout in round 3. I think he's faster than Josh Emmett, and like we talked about, Josh Emmett debatably didn't win his last fight. It was very close. It's just I think Yair is just it. Josh Emmett, there's nothing that jumps off the page. Great chin. He does have a good chin. That always scares me about my knockout prediction. But I think Yair's so crazy that he gets that. Now, there is a scenario where he's so crazy, 5 rounds could be an issue, which it wasn't against Matt Holloway. But it'd also be so crazy he gets caught. Josh Emmett has a lot of power. And if he gets caught, Yair can go out. So I think it's a great fight on paper. Stylistically, it should be a fun matchup. Let's move on to the main event. Islam Makhachev, his first title defense, second pound for pound. Get Volkanovski, who's number 1 pound per pound, coming up for double belts. Jake, who you got and how?
I'm not going to say that I'm praying on Islam's downfall, but I wouldn't hate to see him lose. The day he loses will be a fun Saturday night for me. It's going to be a good night. I'm going to let everybody know about it. It's on those couches. But not this time. I think he's going to beat Volk. I know Volk talks about how the size difference, people underestimate him. I mean, dude, that's your own division. Now you're in lightweight.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Volk's fought even higher weight classes as like a younger fighter, and he could win. He only lost like a 1 fight.
He weighed more than me when he played rugby. That's wild.
He's a big old dude for his size. He's a big old dude. But I think this fight has the potential to be like an all-time dud because it's like a really hot fight. If you're, I guess, a casual would be all right with this fight, but like if you're a real UFC fan, this might be the matchup like on paper of the year. A big super fight. First super fight we've had in a while, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I got Islam, and I think he could submit him in round 1. I'm not going to take that, but I think it's really possible he takes him down really easily because he's so much bigger and just chokes him out. Because, Ortega got him.
Yeah.
Volkanovski got him twice.
He had him.
First time he had him. It's almost like an anomaly he even got out of that at all.
He just didn't tap.
And he
wouldn't go to sleep. Yeah.
He was about to go out, and he just got out. I don't know. But I don't think Islam's going to let him out.
No,
Islam's got him if he gets in there. And I think Islam beats him in the second round submission.
Okay.
I'd love to see Volk win, though.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I agree. I want Volk win, too. But I basically agree with everything you said, but I just got round 3. That's my only difference. I think a little bit more tired will get him more than being in the second round. I think a little fresh will be a better fight. But I'm tired of going in here. We did the same thing with Khabib. It'd be like, I think this dude has a chance. I think he can stop the wrestling. And I'm gonna pick Khabib and Islam. I know Khabib don't fight no more, but I'm gonna pick them until they lose at this point. And just until someone proves it to me with their eyes, they can stop it. I'm done believing. I just need to see it. And I hope he stops it. But I don't know, man. He made the Oliveira fight look too easy.
Yeah, another thing I didn't even mention is that Islam striking's pretty solid.
Yeah, it is. He
It's
dropped
like
Oliveira.
nothing to laugh at. He did. Well, yeah, he did.
Everyone drops Oliveira, but
Everyone
still
drops Oliveira, but he also hit him clean though. It
Yeah.
wasn't like it was a good drop.
yeah,
I mean, Oliveira was fine, but like it's a thing. If you're that good like Islam, you just jump on him. No one else can jump on Oliveira like that.
Exactly.
That comp
yeah.
Islam. That's why he won. But I think there's a chance. I don't think Islam could stand with him for 5 rounds, but I think he could hold his own maybe for a short amount of time to make it interesting on the feet.
Yeah.
I think Volk, unless there's a range issue there, which I'm not sure they're like their arm lengths and all that off the top of my head, but I think Islam could do some damage on the feet. I had one more point. Oh, hypothetical question real fast. If Volk wins this fight, does he already surpass Holloway's legacy?
Yeah.
Already? Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if I think he's higher on the overall GOAT list. I don't know about featherweight, just like that division in general.
Yeah.
But I do know, which, I mean, neither of them's a GOAT in featherweight in my eyes. I think it's still Aldo. Yeah. But, like, overall, like, yeah, I think he's above him. 2 belts, I hold that very accountable.
It's a big
because
deal.
there's a lot of dominant champions who are too scared to test the waters. And credit to Volk. Yep, it's true. And... Yep, that's true as well. Gotta give me and you are not big Izzy fans. Gotta give him credit though. He went up. That was the last one too. You mentioned it. You said it's been a while, and I'm pretty sure he's the last super fight. I think Nunez already had both her belts before Jan and.
Yeah, she's had both her belts since we started watching. I'm pretty sure a few years ago.
Well, wait, hold on.
She might have had one.
Hold on. Technically, Nunez and Pena was a super fight because she
it was like a rematch super fight.
Yeah. Technically, it's a super fight.
Super fight.
Yeah.
First guy super fight. It's easy. There you go
there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm just looking forward to watching fights. I feel like the fight have not been worth it. Like the other one was like we didn't talk about that. Derek Lewis getting absolutely. We'll mention that real quick. Just terrible. Which I heard Pavlovich looked very good. But Derek Lewis just
new generation heavyweights are here, and it's less about striking now. Yeah. A lot of them are less about striking and heavyweight now. So, interesting.
A little off topic again, real quick, and we'll just touch on this real quick because it's actually going longer than I thought it would. But Tom Aspinall, when does he come back? He's really good.
He blew out his knee really badly, so I'd say late this year.
Yeah,
is a good estimate.
He's a little wild card in that whole
deal. He is. He wasn't looking all that great though. I don't think
it happened like immediately when the fight started. They threw like one.
You
remember everyone picked Aspinall, and I'm gonna like toot my own horn a little bit here, but I said Curtis Blades would have won, but I didn't think like that. But I thought Curtis Blades was gonna win just because I thought Tom Aspinall was still young for it. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
I think Curtis Blades is one of the more underrated fighters in the UFC just because he's like not all here. People just kind of push him. He gets the LeBron treatment, where his personality kind of is kind of garbage, so they try to ignore the talent. All right, let's move on. We're going to The Ultimate Fighter. Got announced, I think, maybe earlier this week or the late last week. But Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. This is what you were calling for. This is awesome.
Yeah,
it's a big deal. You sent me a thing maybe today or yesterday about about how half of it's going to be veterans and half of it's going to be that's wild.
Cut fighters. Cut fighters. Yeah.
Kevin Lee. I bet you all the money in the world Kevin Lee's going to be in there.
He might win.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might win.
And also, not only is this ain't just airing on ESPN Plus. This is airing on ESPN. Big deal.
Prime time. I bet.
Yeah.
Like good time.
It's going to be this is good for the UFC. I think maybe last month we were sitting on this couch before the first card of the year started, and we were like, we kind of went through the prime of the UFC. We kind of felt like this year now is all of a sudden shaping up to be like John Jones' return, McGregor on primetime ESPN, like setting up that fight. Imagine how big Chandler and Conor will be when it gets there. Wild.
Yeah.
And
big deal.
Listen, I love Chandler. I saw Ryan Clark say the other day. He said if you don't like Chandler, there's something wrong with you. And that's 100% true. Say it's impossible not to like Chandler.
Mm-hmm.
I hope Conor wins so bad for the sport though. So bad.
Yeah, I agree.
So bad. You would ask me when he fought Poirier, I wanted Poirier to win just because I picked him. I remember looking back at that, and I was like, man, because I'm leaning Chandler early, like way early. I'm leaning Chandler just because Connor's been out so long, and Chandler's experience, and we know how good Chandler is. But this is just awesome. There's a lot to talk about and tough, and obviously we'll talk about more. I plan on talking about every episode on the BoogiePod. Talk about it. I think it's gonna be cool. I think it's gonna be something to really look forward to. And what's your thoughts? Go ahead. Yeah, I've kind of took over. Go ahead.
I'll go a different route. I remember me and you were talking one day, and you were like, Tony Ferris and Conor McGregor were on it. I was like, no. I was so, I wouldn't have been hyped for. I mean, I would have been hyped for Conor McGregor to be on it. Obviously, regardless who is like opposite of him, I would have been negative excited if Tony Ferguson was the other guy because I don't think that's like a hype fight anymore. Maybe 5 years ago, that's like the fight to make.
Mm-hmm.
Not anymore. I think I'm so glad it's Michael Chandler, dude.
Yeah.
Michael Chandler was their first choice, and they got it. Yeah. Thank God. And I think this is a Hail Mary shot for the show because Ortega Volk was, I would say, I've not watched a lot of tough past seasons, so I can't really call like what the best seasons are. I bet you the best one's probably Connor's last one.
Probably.
Everyone forgets he was on it before. Yeah. It was fine. Nunez one. I don't know if anybody watched that.
I watched it, but it was terrible.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody watched that at all.
Volk
I might have watched one
episode.
A lot better. It was fine. I remember we watched it a little bit together. It was fine. But this right here, be on ESPN, not on ESPN Plus.
No, yeah.
Conor McGregor, and everyone likes Michael Chandler. I mean, if this doesn't do good, they'll cancel the show. But it's going to do so good. They're going to renew tough for years.
Yeah.
But this is it. I'm so excited for this. This is ideal scenario.
What are you thinking, cut fighters? So you got Kevin Lee. He met with Dan. I think Kevin Lee's a lock to be in there.
Yeah, I saw the picture of them after their little meeting. Yeah, he's in it.
Kevin Lee.
In that, yeah.
I know Aldo's doing boxing. You think Aldo would even be in that consideration?
No.
So it's not
retired.
So it's not veterans. It's just cut guys.
It's guys that have maybe been in the UFC, but they got cut early on, like getting into that, like Chris Moutinho type guys. Yeah. Maybe a little more experience than that. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like guys that made it and got cut.
I can't think off the top of my head.
A second chance.
But I'm sure if we went down that list, we would know.
We'll see some guys we know the names of, I'm sure, besides Kevin Lee.
Yeah. Kevin Lee would be the star in that right there, though. Imagine Kevin Lee and Conor McGregor training together.
On the same. My God. Imagine on the opposite teams. That'd be even better. No. I will say, we get old Conor trash talk where it's witty and it's funny, not like mean-spirited. It's always mean, but if you could tell he's trying to make fun of somebody, not actually threaten them to be mean. New Conor trash talk is really bad. Ever since the Conor fight, he was good against Mayweather. Well, that was before. Did I just say the Conor fight? Yeah, ever since the Floyd fight, Mayweather and stuff. That was fun. When the Khabib fight come around, bad trash talk,
because
not funny.
That's like
some of it's funny.
It's like serious stuff that like, come on.
It's super personal and like we are.
It makes
real, like,
it makes the people watching like feel bad for the other person. They're kind of like, dude, don't say that. And like, I just think I know, but at that time though, Khabib was like, and I don't care who you are really, but unless you're like a really bad person. That stuff, because like regardless, we think about Khabib's like athletic career. What makes me so mad about Khabib, and I'm sure it's you, it's like he's kind of like what if, what if he stayed around? But regardless of that, Khabib's a great person. He was always nice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
From like what we know about him, so it's just hard to listen to that, especially Poirier too. Like you could tell it was just like forced with Poirier. But
he didn't want to trash talk him then.
I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be good, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Well, let's go on to our college basketball pick'ems. We'll start off. Number 21, UConn. At number 23, Creighton. I'm also going Creighton. Dude, let me tell you something real quick before I do this last one. We done BoogiePod last week, we could have got Clemson Miami on that mug. Clemson made their debut.
Ooh.
But now they're not ranked no more. So.
Are they really not?
No. They lost both times last week. They're not ranked anymore. But hey, whatever. We're still first in the ACC. We're tied. We're a 3-way tie right now.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah.
He's killer. Huh?
All right, number 14, Baylor. At number 17, TCU.
Baylor.
Ooh, I'm going TCU. Give me the Horned Frogs. What does Dad do? Is it that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Something like that. Sorry, TCU fans. All right. And then that leads up to your question of the week, Jake.
Oh, and it's a good one. We need to get like old people like my dad and your dad on here for this one. That'd be a real debate. And then Okay, LeBron gets the scoring title. We don't talk about NBA, so this is why it's our special question. Does this help his case in the GOAT debate for you? I don't know where you stand anymore. You've changed your outlook on things like that.
Yeah, in my eyes, now LeBron was the GOAT. Like probably like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
So I think this just adds on to it. Which he's the scoring champion. There's a lot of things that go into that. How many years do they play? Who are they playing against? Whatever. Bunch of bullcrap. But LeBron's just a pure better player than MJ. So LeBron's a good. Better defender. It's that simple.
Ooh, that's interesting.
LeBron the GOAT.
Yeah.
What about you? You get
I don't know.
I want to hear yours. Mine's simple. I look at who I think is a better player. They're my GOAT. So
I can look at football that way. I don't know as much about basketball. I've not watched enough Michael Jordan to tell you who's better. But based off awards and things, I would say Michael Jordan was better. But he also didn't play against like the Golden State Warriors and stuff because Kevin Durant and Golden State took away like 2 or 3 rings from LeBron, probably.
Yeah.
Which is really, unlucky. Like I know Michael Jordan is like a 10-time scoring champion or something, and he also is like a 9-time first team all defense. And he won like the steal. He was a steals champion one year, and he was a defensive player of the year one year. So it's like I don't know. It's one of the better debates you could have. It's interesting. I really don't know though. I don't know. I think I'll say Michael Jordan since you said LeBron.
Okay. And you mentioned LeBron's my GOAT. You mentioned like all those awards and stuff, but if LeBron was playing in the league with Michael Jordan at that era, LeBron would have those awards and Michael Jordan wouldn't even be mentioned.
Probably.
That's the way I look at it. But
you're probably right. Yeah.
And okay, I stand by though. That might feel mad. You want to say MJ's the GOAT? That's fine. One opinion I will not take, and I hold no stock in it whatsoever. If you want to say he has 6 rings, that's an argument. You want to bring up he's 6-0? That's bullcrap. That holds no stock because he's a first round exit machine. So I don't want to hear that crap about him being 6-0.
Yeah, I'm being that on football too. It's like when you lose a Super Bowl, you get punished for even making the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's like, dude.
Like if I can make it, it's not okay if I lose and like you know what I mean. But it's like if I lose, you can't hurt me. Like you can't unless it's like Brady losing to Nick Foles.
Yeah,
it's like embarrassing. It's like I know Nick Foles was playing great.
He lost to Doug Peterson, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean Nick Foles. I watched highlights that game today. Nick Foles was cooking, but still, it's the principle of it. Like there's a lot of other quarterbacks. If Mahomes lost to Nick Foles in that same game, oh my god, it would be over.
Yeah.
Brady fans would be all over Mahomes.
They'd have to have Nick Wright locked in like a broom or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of if Aaron Rodgers lost to Nick Foles in the Super Bowl, ESPN would love it. They would talk about it for years.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
All right, well I think that does it for this episode. This ended up being 40 minutes. I said, I mean you just.
It really?
Yeah, I mean you just. We'll make something out of nothing, baby. I'll talk about. All right. We appreciate you guys watching. I would say there's gonna be clips out, but there won't be. So don't be looking.
School is busy.
Yeah. Hopefully, I get my schedule settled down and stuff. Maybe I can start getting back into it. We'll see what happens. And